All right, so you're ready to reconstitute peptides at home. This is one of those processes where precision is absolutely key. If you get even one small step wrong, you could mess with the medication's effectiveness or, even worse, your own safety. So, in this explainer, we're going to walk through the exact correct way to do it, step by step. Let's get right into it.
And I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Precision is everything. Seriously. Every single step we're about to cover, from how you clean the vials to the way you mix, has a direct impact on the medicine's integrity and your safety. There are absolutely no shortcuts here.
You know, a successful outcome begins long before you actually mix anything. It all starts with setting up your space and your materials to be completely clean and sterile. Think of this prep phase as the foundation for the whole thing. First things first, go ahead and pop the little plastic caps off both your peptide vial and the vial of bacteriostatic water. Then grab an alcohol swab and give the rubber stoppers on top a really good, thorough wipe. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a must-do. It stops any bacteria on the surface from getting into your medication. Okay, here's a simple but absolutely crucial tip that's going to make drawing the water so much easier. You need to equalize the pressure in the vial. See, if you just stick a syringe in and try to pull the water out, you're literally fighting against a vacuum. But if you inject a little air first, the water will come out smoothly, no problem. So how do we do that? It's super simple. First, pull back the plunger on your syringe to draw in the same amount of air as the water you need. So if you need 1 milliliter of water, pull in 1 milliliter of air. Inject that air into the water vial. Then, just flip the vial upside down and pull the plunger back to draw the water into the syringe. A great little trick for accuracy is to pull in just a tiny bit more than you need and then gently push the excess back into the vial till you hit your mark perfectly. Okay, you've got your sterile water ready. Now we're getting to what is probably the most delicate part of the entire process, actually combining the liquid and the powder without damaging the fragile medication. Now you need to be ready for this next part. The peptide vial is under a pretty strong vacuum. This is done on purpose during the freeze-drying process to preserve it. The second your needle goes through that stopper, the vial is going to try and suck all the water in at once. Your job is to control that flow. And this shows you exactly how to do it. On the left, that's what we don't want to do. Don't aim the needle right at the powder and just squirt the water in. It's way too aggressive. The right way, as you see on the right, is to angle the needle so it's touching the inside of the glass vial. Let the water gently run down the side and pool at the bottom. It's like you're gently introducing them, not causing a splash. Okay, listen up. If you only remember one thing from this entire explanator, I want it to be this. I really cannot say this enough. Do not shake the vial. Not now, not ever. Shaking it is the fastest way to completely destroy the medication and make it totally useless. So why is shaking so bad? Well, peptides are what's called polypeptides. Think of them like a long, very delicate chain of pearls. Shaking the vial vigorously literally breaks those chains apart. It physically destroys the structure of the molecule. And once that structure is broken, well, the medication just won't work anymore. So what's the right way to mix it then? It's all about gentle motion. After you've added the water, you can just slowly roll the vial back and forth between your fingers. Or you can place it between your palms and gently swirl it. That's all the movement you need. And hey, as a little bonus, this is also a great way to safely warm up a vial that's been in the cold fridge. So you've mixed it gently. Now comes the next key ingredient: patience. Even if the solution looks perfectly clear, trust me, the process isn't quite done yet. It needs a little time to fully reconstitute. Yeah, I know, it might look crystal clear to the naked eye, but on a microscopic level, particles are still dissolving and suspending in the solution. You should wait a bare minimum of 15 minutes. Honestly, 30 minutes is an even safer bet, just to be sure everything is perfectly blended and ready to go. All right, let's talk about our real-world scenario. You're down to the last few doses in a vial, and getting that last bit of liquid out can be tricky. So here's a pro tip to make sure you can use every last drop without wasting anything. Here's the technique. Using your smaller injection syringe, draw in an amount of air that's equal to your dose. Gently put the needle into the vial so the tip is just barely past the rubber stopper, and then inject the air. Now, turn the vial upside down. The real key here is to carefully move the needle tip so it sits right in that small puddle of remaining liquid. This lets you draw it all out without sucking up a bunch of air. And I'll be honest, this can feel a little bit fiddly the first few times you do it. It definitely takes a delicate touch, but it's a skill you'll pick up with practice.
Pretty soon, you'll get a real feel for exactly where that sweet spot is.
And finally, let's cover the last critical piece of this puzzle. You've successfully mixed your peptide, but how you store it is every bit as important as how you prepared it. You have to store it right to preserve its potency.
This slide lays out the rules perfectly. Before it's mixed, that dry peptide powder is really stable. You can keep it in the fridge, at room temp, you can even freeze it for long-term storage. But, and this is a big but, once it's reconstituted, once you add that water, the rules completely change. The mixed liquid must be kept in the refrigerator, and it must never, ever be frozen. Freezing the liquid will destroy the peptide structure, just like shaking it will.
So let's do a quick recap with a final safety checklist. Number 1, always start sterile. Clean everything. Number 2, mix gently by rolling or swirling, never ever shaking. 3, be patient and let it fully dissolve. And 4, store it correctly, depending on if it's dry or mixed. If you can master these 4 points, you're all set.
And that really brings us to the end. Ultimately, this whole process comes down to being diligent, respecting the procedure, and focusing on safety. So the question I'll leave you with is this: are you prepared to handle your medication with the care it requires? Thanks for watching.